Man, I love college.
Do I really have to graduate, or can I just stay here for the rest of my life?
Keno Radio. Keno Radio. Keno Radio.
All right, what's going on, gang? Keno Radio. Back tuned in, listening to solo kicks right now, but not solo for long. We have we're doing our first ever phone interview Keno Radio podcast. I'm bringing on rising country sensation Jimmy Connor. He's from the area. He's a local Boston kid, young kid. I think he's only 16 or so. So he's done a bunch of shows through 102.5, where I also work, and that's where I kind of saw him. I heard him one time. He was doing an event that I was at. I was like, I got to get this kid on the podcast. He's going to be a superstar. He's got a great voice. He's young. He's going back and forth through Nashville. So he's doing a lot of stuff. He's really motivated. He has some connection with Hunter Hayes. He's got a new song out called Callin It. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Hunter Hayes. We're going to talk about all this stuff. But like I said, it's on the phone. First time I've ever done this. Hopefully it works. I'm just going to go speakerphone into the mic. I've tried it out a couple times. It sounded good. But I'm going to say I apologize in advance if there's any bad audio quality or if he doesn't pick up. That would be a huge bummer to me. If he didn't pick up, because we said 6 o'clock and making him sweat a little bit. It's 6:04 right now. So before we get it to the phone call, I just got to say this interview is brought to you by Stone Cold Designs. Like last week, if you're in the New York, Long Island area, hit up Stone Cold Designs if you want your car decaled, tinted, painted, rims, anything like that. Car wash. They just bought a car wash right now, so go over there. It's the best on the island. Guys like Brock Nelson on the Islanders have done it. Other local celebrities have done it. It's a great place to be. Check it out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, website, stonecolddesigns.com. Make sure you check it out. It's awesome. If you need your car decaled, go do that. And real quick, Smad shout out and adding on Booby shout out. So here we go. Without further ado, we're gonna give the Connor family a ring and go from there. To be honest, I'm a little excited. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'm calling his house number. I don't know who's gonna pick up, but we're recording right now, and you're gonna ride along with me this whole time. Sorry, I'm doing the number as we speak, so that's why I can't really talk. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going. This is probably the most nervous I've ever been talking to a 16-year-old, if we're going to be completely honest. But I'm a journalist now, baby, so here goes nothing. Let's do this. Hopefully you can hear that ringing, and if not, then this whole interview is a waste of time.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? This is Kyle from Keno Radio.
Hey, Kyle, what's going on? This is Jimmy.
Hey, Jim. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure before we do anything, can you hear me?
I can, yeah. I'm good, thanks.
Awesome. I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, well, first off, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. I know you have a pretty hectic lifestyle going on these days, it looks like.
Yeah, no, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So to be honest, I've already started recording. We're getting right into it right now.
Sweet.
So if you need anything, you mess up anything like that, you want to get a plug, anything like that, let me know. I can edit this thing up, cut it out, whatever you want. So no pressure though.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess first things first, I just want to know a little about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Or as much as you want to give away, how old are you? What's going on, brother?
Sure thing, yeah. So my name is Jimmy Connor. I'm 16. I'm from.
Say that again.
Massachusetts.
16, everybody. 16. Do you have a license?
What?
Do you have a license? Can you drive yet?
I don't. I'm actually getting my license first weekend in October, I think.
So when you guys all hear Jimmy Connor and you Google and you hear his awesome voice, just know that he doesn't even have a license yet. But go on. Sorry to cut you off.
No worries, man. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm 16, and we've been touring around a ton this summer. Gotten to play a couple really cool gigs, actually, thanks to 102.5 and the whole team and everybody. It's been so much fun. Yeah, made a lot of cool connections and met a lot of really cool people that I've been a fan of for a long time. So it's been a great summer.
Now, so you're obviously from the Boston area, right? You're from, where is it, Acton? Boxborough, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I'm from Boxborough. Yeah, exactly.
Boxborough. So, like you said, you've been doing a lot of shows with 102.5. How does that come about? How did you get the connection with like Don and Ginny and all them to allow you to play these sweet shows? Because I know you were on the side stage at CMF. If you were there, if anyone listening was there, he was over there killing it. I saw him.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, how did that all come about?
Yeah, so we had met a couple of the folks at 102.5. We had, I think actually the first contact I had with 102.5 was I did this competition with the New England Country Music Organization, and a couple of years ago, I think in 2014, and Lori, who isn't with the station anymore, she used to come to those, and or somebody from the station came. They sent a rep, and or a personality, or somebody would come and they'd set up the table and they'd give away the awards and things like that. And it was just a cool thing to have the radio station there. And I think a couple people used to come, but I know Lori came, and Lori was super sweet to me. She heard my music and she really liked it, and so we kind of made that connection. And she was always just so great to me, and she started making introductions to the station, and we'd come to the station shows, and everybody would be there. And long story short, we met Jenny, we met the whole team, and they've been nice enough to be really great to us and give us some really cool stuff this summer. So I'm very grateful to them. If anybody's listening, thank you.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate that too. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. So,
yeah.
Like you said this was a couple years ago that you started with 102.5. So you don't have that many years on your life so far. So when did you start like doing music? Like, because like I said, you're a young kid, so you can't have been doing it that long.
Yeah, no, I've been playing guitar for 10 or 11 years. Since I was about 5 or 6, somewhere in there. And I've been performing and really singing since I was about 8. It's just kind of all gone downhill from there. No, but no, it's been a lot of fun, man. Really, I started gigging a couple years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, I really started playing shows. And this year it's gotten crazy. We've had multiple weeks where we have 5 or 6 shows a week during the school year too, which is nuts. And this summer has been really, really great with first festival season and everything. We've had a lot of fun stuff going on. But yeah, no, it kind of all started for me with the guitar. My dad was a guitar player, is a guitar player, and
do you play with your dad at all?
I do, yeah. Once in a while, we get to jam, not really out, but as much as we probably should. But with family, when family's around, we'll pull out guitars and jam and things like that. But he got me started on it, and I kind of come from a musical family in weird little places in respect. My grandfather on my mom's side was very musical, and my dad's side was pretty musical as well. So it was it just kind of worked out somehow. I don't know, but I found music, and I'm thank God, because it's kind of all I know now.
Yeah, right. So at what point did you realize, like, hey, I'm like kind of good at this? Like, oh no, call failed. We're gonna do a quick call back. See, this is the beauty of Keno Radio. We do it live. We had a quick call fail. Back on speaker. It's busy. So this is what they like to call dead air in the industry. We're back.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah. What's up, Jim?
Hey, man. No worries.
Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on.
I hear you, man. No, sorry, I lost you.
Technology, man. But no, I didn't stop recording. I filled some dead air, so we're good to go. So let's pick back right up where we were. So at what point did you were you like, oh, I'm like good at this? Like, I actually have a good voice.
I don't know.
Do you think? Would you consider yourself having a good voice now?
What's that?
Would you consider yourself having a good voice now? And you don't have to be humble. I'm not putting you on the spot, but like I feel like that's really important.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm definitely very critical.
Because you do. You have a fantastic voice.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I never like to hear myself back. I think that's just a thing that happens. I know a lot of people that will say the same thing. I hate hearing myself sing or talk for that matter, but it's just a weird thing. I'm definitely very critical of my work and of my voice and things like that. And I think you have to be. I mean, if you want to improve, you gotta. Whenever you hear yourself back, you gotta go, oh, I wish I did this, or oh, I wish I should have done that, or I gotta work on this, type thing. And that just makes you better. I know a lot of people that will say the same thing, but I don't. Like I said, I don't know if I have a good voice. I don't
you do.
Like
you do. Trust me, you do. You absolutely do. Like of an angel. It's fantastic. I was legitimately the first time. So the little backstory of how I know Jim is I was working an event at Bach Honda, and you performed. And I was legitimately, me and my boy Pat, we were blown away. It was the first time we both heard you, and we were like, I gave you the plug. I was like, I would love to have you come on, because I was like, this kid's gonna be legit. He's gonna be a star, and I need,
thank you, brother.
I need you to not forget me when you do become a star. I'm making as many connections because I'm probably gonna need a job. So, if you need like a roadie or just like someone for you, I'll be there for you. All right?
Oh man, I'll hit you up.
Hey, I love it. But
That's awesome.
No. Getting on the real. So, how did you? You're from Boston, obviously. How'd you pick country? What made you gravitate towards country as opposed to? Because you kind of have that the higher pitched voice. You could do pop. You could do a little JT type thing. So how'd you pick country?
Oh, thanks. So I've always listened to a lot of different kinds of music. My mom, she used to listen to kind of the pop stuff back in the day, and she used to listen to a lot of the rock stuff. And my dad has been always like a James Taylor kind of guy, you know. But you know, she kind of, my mom specifically, always, since I was born anyway, she's always been a fan of country. Garth kind of got her into that, and a lot of those, you know, that era folks.
Yeah.
That were kind of on the line for the time. I think country has always been a little bit on the line for the time, you know, of different genres. It's kind of just been its own thing, but close to other things, other genres. You know what I mean? And at the time she was listening to country, and that kind of stuck. And she's always listened to country, at least since I was born. I remember her listening to country, and whenever we got in the car, it was, you know, 102.5, or there was a country station on, whether it was Cape Country 104, or, you know, if we were at the Cape, it was Cape Country. If we were here, it was 102.5, and for as long as I can remember. And you know, I think I just sort of gravitated towards that. And I went through a lot of phases, man. I listened to classic rock. You know, I did the AC/DC thing. I did the pop thing.
Yeah.
I listen to everything, and I think you have to. You know, you gotta find out that there's something that part of me is like, I feel like I'm gonna find something that I'm gonna just fall in love with. And I did in different places, but predominantly that laid in country music. I was kind of brought up listening to it, and I was never brought up like you have to listen to country music. You know, it was kind of my parents were never like, you know, shoving it down my throat or anything, but I just kind of gravitated towards it, and it's kind of all I've ever. I played, my first instrument was acoustic guitar, so I think that was part of it. And I've always just kind of loved the sounds between the bluegrass and the pop and the country, you know, and the rock type of thing. I love how country music is free enough that it allows you to incorporate your favorite sounds kind of onto one, or my favorite sounds at least. And it's kind of a very accepting genre, you know. So I love it. I've had some great experiences in it. The people in it are unbelievable, as you know. And yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. But that's kind of how it was. I've always kind of gravitated towards it, I guess.
Yeah, right. Well, it's great stuff. So how do you feel about like kind of, I guess there's the ongoing debate now everywhere you go with country, whereas like, is this country? Is this not country? Is this pop country? Is there, what do you weigh on that? Because I'm a huge with music. I don't like to stay in any boundaries. If it sounds good in my ears, I like it. I don't care what genre it is. I don't like to limit myself.
I'm with you.
So where do you like, and so that's why it's kind of like the old guys screaming, "Get off my lawn," to the clouds. Like the old people, like, this isn't country. This isn't country. It's like, yeah, it might not be your country, but it's our generation's country.
Yeah. No, I think everybody's gonna have their own opinion of it. You know, I think if somebody says this is country music and it's something that they're making that they've worked their heart out for, and you know, whatever the deal is, I think you let them call it what they want. You know, I think like you said, there are a lot of the older generation, especially, you know, not to say anything bad about that, and you know, they knew country the way it was when they were growing up, and you know, the way it was 20, 30 years ago, and that's very different from how it is now. And I've talked to actually a lot of people about this, and what I've kind of come up with, man, is it's an evolving thing. Country music is a living, breathing thing. It doesn't have to. It's like any other genre too. If you listen to pop 30 years ago, it's not going to sound like pop now. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
And that's what
I think a lot of people just have so stuck in their head. Even I talk to kids at my school and kids that I know, and even, you know, adults that I know, say, I don't like country music. You know, I play the mic and they're like, that's not country. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Right?
You know, it's you know, I think the thing that throws people off is when people program drums, they program instruments, and they have synths. It's just like, that's kind of where technology is today, you know? Electric guitars were revolutionary in country music. I know that was a new technology. I can't use synths or program drums. I just think it's going to be ever changing. Music's going to be ever changing. You know, you can't go back and nobody can have the fame of making the synth sounds that Boston made back in the day.
Yeah, right.
That was they had their own thing, right? And I think everybody's going to have their own thing. And if you can find your own thing, you're golden. And if that's going to be whatever it is. And I think, if people don't like it, that's what it is. You just got to let it happen. But I think you got to be who you are. And country music has always been accepting of change and accepting of things that kind of are new and right on the line, And I think that's something that's really cool about the genre.
Yeah, I totally like how it's kind of broadened it. Like, there's still room for the old stuff, but there's plenty of room for the new stuff. I like where it's going.
Absolutely. And I love the old stuff. I play Cash in my set. I played some older tunes. I played Willie Nelson in my sets. It's like, it's great stuff. And there's, like you said, there's certainly room for the old stuff. But I don't know. I don't mind freshening things up a little bit and changing stuff around. I think it's cool.
Yeah, right. So going off that, so who of you kind of mentioned it right there, but who really like influenced you? Was there anyone who was like, yo, I want to be country because of this guy, or yo, I want to play guitar because like this guy? Like, who are the guys who you really like to listen to and base your music on, or kind of influence you?
Oh man, totally. Yeah, there's been so many. I've got to say, first and foremost, Mr. Hunter Hayes has been unbelievable to me. I kind of, I had always listened to country music, and I heard his sound, and I think part of it is we have similar influences in a way, dating back farther. We kind of grew up in the same fashion, listening to some of the same stuff, spinning old rock records and old bluegrass records and, weird, indie stuff and different things, and I think we kind of listened to the same. We sat down and talked about it, and we've kind of listened to the same stuff growing up. And I heard that sound, Hunter's sound, and saw that he was very young, and especially when the debut single came out, I think he was 18, 19. From Warner, that his first debut single to radio was, I think he was 18 or 19, and I saw that, and at the time I was 13, 14, whatever the deal was, and I was like, I just feel like I did not do that math right. Whatever age
I was gonna say, I think he's a little older than you. He's like what, 24 now, 25?
Yeah, I think he's 20. I think he's 24.
Yeah.
So
he's still sneaky young though.
I was a little bit younger, but whatever the deal was, I really started getting into his stuff when I was 12 or 13, probably 13, because that's when I started figuring out, or desperately trying to figure out what my sound was, and I think he did a lot of stuff that I was really, really into. The way he incorporates slaying electric guitar with mandolins, and banjos and resonators, and that blew my mind. I had never really heard anything the way he did it, and the way he thought about it and expressed it. So that was really cool. And lately, he's been really cool to me. He's become a good buddy, and he actually pulled me up on stage a couple weeks ago for 2 nights in a row on his tour stops. In New Hampshire and up in Maine, and that was crazy. We can talk about that later. But
that's perfect. That's a perfect segue. I was actually just on your YouTube page checking stuff out, and I saw that, and I knew you said something about that when I was talking to you at the Honda thing. So what's good with you and Hunter Hayes? How are you guys boys? How did you end up on stage? Because he's big time. He's not just like a local guy. He's like an A-list country singer. Like, he's big time. So how are you guys boys?
What's that?
How did you guys become boys? How does this happen? How does this friendship happen?
Oh man, well, really crazy story. A couple years ago, 2014. Actually, I looked at the calendar. The day was tomorrow, 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was Labor Day, and we had gone to the Champlain Valley Fair in Vermont to catch one of his shows, because I had seen a couple of his shows, but we were going to go visit family, while we were at it, and we saw he had a show, so I was like, all right, let's go to the show and talk my parents to buy tickets. And we got up there, and I said, screw it, let's just do this. We made a sign that said, "It's my dream to sing on stage with you," because I had been a big fan for a handful of years by then, and I had listened to his records, and I knew all the words, and it was crazy. We found the gate that they had the night before. We had seen Justin on there, and we knew where they let people in, and there was this gate that there was no one lined up at. And so I said, well, let's let's go there. Let's see if we can get in. And we did. We ended up right, literally in the middle on the fence of the pit. And he saw my sign and he pulled us up. He pulled me up. And we sang "I Went Crazy." In front of
Fire Jam.
8,000 people.
Love that song.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. He's killer. I love that tune too. That was like my anthem. I played it every show.
I love it. It's a wicked, like, upbeat, like, that's a great song.
Oh yeah, great message too. It's like, I saw somebody tweeted at some point. And actually, I think I was either tagged in it or I saw it or something. It was recently after these past couple weekends, and somebody said most guys book a flight to see their girl, and Hunter Hayes flies his own plane. And I was like, that's great, because in the music video it's flying a plane or whatever the deal was. And it was something about going above and beyond for his fans, and I was like, man, that couldn't be more true. And so anyway, we started, we kept going to shows, and I became buddies with this guitar technician, and then the band, and then the management, and the kind of the whole team. And he made so many introductions for me as far as his team and things go. And we kind of had been talking about jamming for a while. And this summer, actually in June, we were down in Nashville, and he surprised me and came to my show, which was ridiculous. Yeah, it was nuts. It was my producer is actually his piano player, and he made that introduction. And my piano player was like, "Yeah, I'll bring a couple buddies." Or no, his piano player. Sorry, my producer was like, "Yeah, I'll bring a couple buddies. I'm gonna come," because we had been in the studio that day.
Yeah.
And Hunter shows up with their crew and his girl and their whole crew, and basically, it was ridiculous. And then he hands me a business card and he goes, "Drive to this address tomorrow. I'm gonna see you before you leave. Drive to this address tomorrow." And we went to his home studio and actually got to jam, and it was really cool. And he let me play all these old guitars.
How was jamming with your idol? Like, how is that? What do you do? You show up to his house, like, are you like, oh, this guy's got to be like pulling my leg? Like, how that's your idol right there, and you show up and you get to jam with him? How is that?
It was ridiculous. No, it was ridiculous. It was it was pretty nuts, man. And he totally, like you said, he's totally my idol. I've been a fan of his for forever, and he knows that. Like, it's not weird. He's totally like,
yeah.
And it's funny. I'm still such a fangirl. Like, we're standing backstage at the show and on videotaping. Like, it's just the way it is. It's always gonna be like that. But I try not to be, but
it's hard. It's impossible not to. It's such a surreal experience.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's crazy, and it's obviously something you dream about. And then when it happens, the guys are texting me, come back to the bus, come back and hang out before the show. And then I get in the bus and they're going, what do you want to play? I'm like, excuse me, what do I want? What do I want you to play, or what do I want to play? They're like, no, we're gonna jam tonight. I'm like, oh my god.
Dude.
And then they found out I had tickets. We weren't sure if a show was gonna fall through or we were gonna book shows. So we got kind of cheap tickets to both shows. Of Hunters. One was in Portland, one was in Hampton Beach. And they found out, it turned out we didn't book a show on either night, so we were going to go to both shows, and they found out. And I get a text from a buddy who's on the team, and he says, where are you? It's sound check time. This is the second night. He's like, where are you? It's sound check time. And I'm like, what, you want me to come watch sound check? He's like, bring your guitar, bring your in-ears. I'm like, oh my god, it's going to happen again, and Hunter wanted to do it again, and it was nuts. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, but I mean, as far as influences go, definitely him, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Keith Urban for guitar, for sure. And he's one of Hunter's influences, actually, too. We talked about it. This guy just, it's like it's an extension, and Keith has said it, it's like it's an extension of his arm. And you have to know the instrument to the point where you have to know everything about it, and he, to his standard, he's still not a good enough player. I think that's just kind of the story. That's kind of how it goes with musicians. You're never going to be good enough. You always want to keep improving.
Yeah, right.
And but he's to the point where it's just like ridiculous. It's like, come on. Same with Brad Paisley.
Oh yeah.
Guitar playing and performing too. I mean, they put on ridiculous shows. I got to see actually both of those people, Brad and Keith, and got to see Darius. Actually, got to pre-open on the side stage for Darius with you guys at 125.
Yeah.
That was a party. Darius puts on a great show too, but as far as songwriting, this guy named Sean McConnell has been a huge influence of mine. He's out of Massachusetts. He's since moved to Nashville. He signed a record deal with Rounder, and he's been on tour for a while now. He puts out ridiculous stuff, and it's like Americana kind of thing, but I would call it country. I don't think he calls it country, but I would definitely call it country. It's really amazing stuff as far as writing and production too. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'd check that out. Sean McConnell is his name.
Sean McConnell,
like
love it.
Lori McKenna too, and
Yeah,
as far as writing,
Lori McKenna's she's Stoughton, right? Stoughton, Mass.
Yeah. She's
Little local girl.
We got to see her before she signed her deal. I think she signed with Warner or one of those. Maybe it was Universal. You know, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And she signed that deal, and we got to see her perform a couple times actually live at Mass before she went. You know, huge, big time. You know, she had already written with Hunter. She was a writer on I Went Crazy.
Oh,
and,
really? She wrote Girl
was a
Crush,
writer on
right?
A bunch of his stuff. Yeah, and they're she's written so much ridiculous music. You know, she wrote Little Big Town's Girl Crush there.
Yeah.
And you know, all those tunes, and you know, those songs are ridiculous. And if you hear her other stuff, listen to her records, it's like, oh my god, you know, nuts. But I think, you know, as far as performing, you know, we kind of went through the guitar. Hunter's a huge one for guitar too, but as far as performing, I would say Hunter and Keith. And as weird as it is, Carrie Underwood puts on a ridiculous show. I've always kind of watched her. I got a chance to see one of her shows, and kind of went and stalked her on YouTube afterwards, and kind of watched how they did the production side of things.
Yeah, she's a hell of a performer. She's really,
She is, yeah.
she puts on a good show.
I mean, the big deck basically that you know, pieces of tape that flies out over the audience. That's like, oh my god, that's a dream, you know.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no. As far as influences goes, I think that's pretty much, you know. I think everything that I hear on country music, Dan and Shay too, for performing and for writing, and you know, they're awesome. Got to hang with them a couple times this summer, and yeah, that's. I think that's pretty much, you know, everything that I hear, I kind of take notes from nowadays.
Yeah, right. Kind of at that stage.
Those are the big ones for sure.
So you just name dropped that you've like hung with Hunter Hayes and Dan and Shay, and I know you're kind of chilling with Darius. So what's that kind of like? Is this the first like kind of summer where you're making a name for yourself and you're kind of like hanging out with big boys like that? Like what's that kind of like?
Oh yeah, man. This kind of has been the first summer where it's been like that. You know, kind of playing with Brett Eltridge and got to chat a little bit.
Dude,
what?
what?
Yeah, we it was after the Chiefs show, I think, right? He opened for Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after that show, and Maren Morris, and yeah, that whole crew. We were flying to Nashville the next morning, and I kind of looked at my mom jokingly, and I said, "Hey, how much you want to bet? You know, one of the guys from last night, at least somebody from last night is going to be on our plane." And not 2 minutes later, he comes down and sits down beside me and puts his guitar case down and is like, "Hey, but you know, like it was ridiculous." Because I had all my case. Of course, I had all of my guitar cases too. I had, you know, guitar, mandolin, and telly with me, all these you know, instruments. And he picked up on it, and we chatted for a little while. And he sat next to me, like on this plane, the next row over on the plane, the whole ride to Nashville. That was ridiculous. And I've just met so many people, like kind of out of the blue too. Met Kelsey this spring.
Kelsey Ballerini?
Yeah.
Yo,
yeah. Actually, that was through. Jenny hooked me up with that one.
Next time you see her. If you see her, can you get her? I need her on, and I need to talk to her. She's the best. I love.
Oh yeah, man. No, I'll hit you up.
Give me a name drop. Say you got this cool kid who needs to meet her, and maybe go on a date with her.
Oh, sounds good. I think she's dating at the moment, but
okay.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, yeah, we'll make it work. We'll figure something out. I love her. Her album was so fire. It's so good.
Oh, dude, it's killer.
It's
killer.
so good.
Man. Oh my god, so is Dibs and Love Me Like You Mean It. Actually, a buddy of mine wrote Love Me Like You Mean It with her. And
yeah, the dude who's at Loretta's.
Yeah, you know Lance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
He's great.
I was shocked a dude wrote that song, to be completely honest.
What's that?
I was like really shocked that a guy wrote "Love You Like You Mean It" like that.
Yeah. It was like, I think it was like 4 of them. This other dude, Josh Kerr, was a writer, and I believe. I should stop talking because I don't know. I'm pretty sure my facts are correct, but I could be totally wrong.
Hey, doesn't matter.
but no, man. Just when you get a group of people in a room and you know who you're writing for, you know, she's obviously the artist. She was the artist. You know, if you know who you're writing for, I guess you can kind of do it. I would find it weird to write, kind of write for someone else.
Yeah.
I write for myself, so I think that would be weird. But yeah, we've gotten to meet some ridiculous names. It's been seriously, I keep pinching myself, going, "Is this real life?"
Dude, you're too young to have like this great like. You gotta really. That means you're setting the bar really high for yourself. Like you can't stop now. You gotta just keep rolling with this now.
That's what I'm going for, man. Yeah, I figured if I set the bar really high this year, I gotta set it higher for next year.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I gotta keep making goals. I just keep making. That's like the next thing is I want to get on a tour bus and go on a tour with a big name. Like that's a huge thing for me. I want to sign. I'm really trying to. My goal is to sign some sort of deal or something before I graduate high school. So I can graduate and then move to Nashville and have something going already down there.
Right. So.
That's the dream.
I know you kind of mentioned it when we were talking before. So what's good with Nashville? How often are you down there? You recording down there? What's up with your back and forth to Nashville?
Oh yeah, man, we were down not last weekend. Well, yeah, actually up until last Wednesday. We flew in last Tuesday night at last Wednesday morning. At about 3 in the morning we got home. And then I had a show the next night. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. We that was our 5th time down this year, just this year. Probably our 15th or so time down total. Maybe not that much, but it was our 5th time. No, not that much. I guess maybe 12th time or something like that. But that was our 5th time down. I think we're gonna be down probably twice more before the year's out, which is crazy.
That's awesome. Nashville's so fun. I don't know how much you've really like had fun there, but I went for a weekend last year and it was like that and New Orleans are my 2 favorite cities I've been to.
I've never been to New Orleans. I want to get down there.
New Orleans is sweet.
It's a party, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. New Orleans and Nashville are both real fun.
Yeah, I hear you.
But what you were kind of touching on this earlier. This is one thing that I'm genuinely intrigued about. I want to just talk the whole songwriting, making a song, just everything, the process of it, because I just do not understand how it works. Like, where do you start? Do you start with lyrics? Do you start with the music? Do you I want to know everything, because you just wrote "Callin It." That's the recent one, right? That's your newest one.
Yeah, that came out in April, and we're actually wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Probably shouldn't be talking about it, but we're actually looking to. We're going to release another single. We've got it tracked. It's actually. The final touches are being put on it down in town, actually, at the moment.
You heard it first. Keno Radio exclusive right there.
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah, we've got a new little project coming out.
Brilliant. So how?
Hopefully in EP in the spring, a bunch of songs, but it's kind of, I don't know, it varies, I think, for me per song. I normally start with the guitar. I always write with guitar just because it's my main instrument. It's kind of, it's what I know the best for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it starts with some kind of riff for me normally, some kind of guitar riff or chord progression or something, and then I've always got to have an idea in my head kind of before I start, and something I want to say, and I don't know, a lot of rewriting, a lot of looking back at it. Sometimes I'll bang a whole song out in an hour and a half, and sometimes Callin It took me 2 weeks. So it depends, and I write a lot of crap songs before I write a good one. So Callin It was my first song that I was proud of enough to release.
So are you said you were critical earlier? Are you like? Does it take a lot? Does it take a lot of convincing from like your band and your parents and everything to be like, yo, this is really good, you should do it? Are you like one of those guys, those artists who are kind of like, this stinks, this stinks, this stinks?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's just kind of who I am. I tend to be. I'm kind of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
If I'm totally honest. If I'm gonna release something, I want it to be the best I can be. At the time at least. I think Callin It was kind of a good representation of where I was in the moment, and that was a song that I wrote last summer. And I was so kind of like frustrated that it took me as long as it did. I could only think about that song for 2 weeks, and I couldn't write it. It took me so long.
2 weeks doesn't sound like that long.
What's that?
2 weeks doesn't sound like it's that long. I feel like it would take me like 2 years to write a song.
You think? No, for me it's normally 2 hours.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
really?
It's normally quick. Wow. For me. I don't some people take a long time, but that was 2 weeks was like ridiculous for me. That took, because I knew what I wanted to say, I just didn't know how I wanted to say it. And it took me so long. I was so frustrated. As soon as I finished the song, I just kind of did one of those frustrated, put it in the folder and put it very far away, in a drawer that I was never going to look in.
Yeah.
And we were looking for things for the first thing. I was talking to my producer, and it was kind of one of those things where I didn't want to do anything with the song, and I was like, well, whatever, I'll send it to him. And he listened to it, and he was like, you have to put this out. He's like, this is the best one you've got at the moment. And he's like, dude, I see big things for this song. He's like, because of course he can hear all the things that we can play on it. He has an ear for those things. He has an ear for the music, and so I think he heard things that I didn't really hear in it, and he said, let's at least look at it. And we did, and it got into town, and we started playing with it, and wound up being my first single. But I wrote about 60 or 70 songs in between Callin It and my next single that were not acceptable to me. I think the majority of people probably would have picked out of about 20 of them.
I was going to say, sell them. You should sell them.
I could, yeah, I could. I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of a funny thing. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want anybody to see it. Half of them, my parents, more than half of them, my parents haven't even heard. I was never played out. I just kind of write them and then put them away. This is kind of what I do, but it's how I get to the good ones, or the better ones anyway. I hope.
Yeah, right.
That's how it's working, But yeah, it's just kind of what happened. I don't know. It's different for everybody, though. I don't know if I'm qualified to give songwriting advice, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Are you nervous at all that you'll run out of things to write about? That's one thing. I don't understand how people just can write so much. Nothing happens in my life enough for me to write a million songs about it. Are you nervous at all that you're gonna run out of ideas? Well, actually, with your life, you'll probably be good.
I just hope I don't have as many breakups as Taylor Swift must have, because that's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I think life just kind of keeps going on, and I think as a songwriter, stuff happens, and I kind of just go, oh, that's what you're writing a song about. That's something I could make a joke about and fit in a song, or that's I don't know. I think if you think of situations, if you're constantly in the mindset of, oh, look out for things you might be able to write a song about, which I've kind of been in lately. I don't know. I think they just kind of come to you, to me anyway, and. I don't know. I hope I never run out of things, because that would be upsetting.
Right? At that point, you just got to be big enough where everyone writes stuff for you, like Luke and Kenny and all them.
I don't know. I enjoy writing though, because I like saying stuff through music, and I'm kind of an awkward person. So for me, I love to talk, but I'm not always as good at words as I should be. So I think music is an excuse for me to say what I need to say. That's what I do with Callin It. I was in a situation, I was like, I just want to kind of say something, and I couldn't say it, so I wrote it. And it's I think it's an advantage for me that I can kind of do that. It's
is Callin It about someone?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's I won't really get into it, but it's about a situation.
Okay.
Most of my stuff kind of is about the things, mindsets that I'm in, and things I want to say.
Yeah. Do you ever write just fun songs like Luke Bryan, spring breaky songs, like Cole Swindell's spring breaky stuff? Do you ever write just fun stuff like that? Just
oh yeah.
Because if you say you just rip out a song in 2 hours, I'm sure you could rip out I don't know, a spring breakup or something like that, or Get Up by Swindell. Just you could rip that out in 15 minutes, get in the booth. That's what I think. Those like Luke Bryan spring break albums, he probably puts together in a week, the whole album.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be. I know there's a lot that goes into it. But no, yeah, I've read a lot of that stuff. It's I love happy songs, and Callin It was kind of different for me, at least, because I write a lot of kind of quirky, kind of stereotypical country songs,
Yeah.
And I was kind of was fortunate enough to win Songwriter of the Year through the New England Country Music Organization last year for Callin It, or this year actually for Callin It.
Wow! Congrats.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I've been really in the songwriter mindset, and that was one of the better written songs I think I had written, in my mind at least. I mean, people think so.
No, yeah. If you listen to lyrics, that's some good stuff.
Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. But I was kind of going for the writing aspect. I read a lot of the catchy stuff too, and there will be more of that on the EP. But I think as far as Callin It, I was trying to, you know, um, make sort of a space for myself in the industry, at least, and people that heard it, and labels that heard it, and things, to know that I'm a writer as well. And I kind of I do care about, um, trying to say things in ways that other people don't say them. I think that's the eternal songwriter struggle. But I don't know. Hopefully they like it. Hopefully hopefully I did the right thing. But I think choosing that was more in the writer mindset. And like I said, the EP is going to be really, really great. We've already written a bunch of the stuff for the EP. I've already handpicked out of the probably 100 songs that I've written for the EP. We've already picked about 4 of them. So if that gives you an idea of how critical I am,
Wow.
there it is. But yeah, there's a lot of songs that will never be heard, that will never be played. But there's a lot of fun stuff coming, hopefully, from the EP. The next single is a fun song. The single off the EP is going to be a really fun song, and there's going to be definitely just some happy, upbeat, quirky stuff in the EP that I think people will really dig. I hope.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I like. Like I said, that's why I love country music the most, is it's the most fun. It's the most fun genre. Yeah. It's the best to be outside to. It's the best to drink a beer to. It's the best at the beach, get in a good mood. So I like that you're doing that with country music. I do like the serious stuff, and it's a great outlet to do serious stuff. But I think that's what really separates it, is it's the most fun musical genre.
Totally, man. Totally. I agree. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
Sure.
So that's why I love what you're doing with it. I got like 2 last things before I let you go. I know I've taken up a bunch of your time. You sound like a real busy guy.
Oh man, don't worry about it. It's cool.
But so I got so I just want to know, you've said it. You pretty much said a lot. But I haven't asked exactly. What would you say like your coolest experience thus far is? I mean, you've mentioned a lot of like stuff, but is there one moment that really stuck out where you're like, wow, like, this is awesome. Like, I got to step back, soak it up, see where my life is right now, because this is awesome.
Yeah, man, this whole summer's been like that, to be totally honest. I would have to say the couple shows with Hunter. The second night specifically was just ridiculous. This particular night, it was another total surprise. I was glad we had a night of kind of practice. We already had one night under our belt, and we were singing this. It's kind of like a duet song he did with Jason Mraz. It's called "Everybody's Got Somebody But Me," and this song particularly I loved, and I could relate to for a long time. It was kind of one of those songs. It's like, yeah, everybody's kind of in a relationship, but it's cool. I'm just hanging. It's a really funny song. You should totally check it out. Like I said, it's called "Everybody's Got Somebody But Me." But this song is just, it was epic, and being able to jam with my idol and so many good buddies that were in his band, and my producer, who's been just completely a mentor to me in so many different ways. Being able to stand on stage in front of like 4,000 or 5,000 people, screaming, just totally, hopefully loving the music that we were making, and it was pouring rain that night, and it was like we're standing out in the rain playing this music, and not one person left. I mean, there were literally to the number 4,000, exactly how many people were there.
That must have been awesome.
No one walked out. And it was just, we were all there together for the music, and standing up on stage jamming with my idol was absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Just great music with great friends, and so many supportive, just unbelievable fans, and especially even after the fact, so many people wanted autographs and wanted to say hey after the show, and in the pouring rain, they didn't go home, they stayed, they wanted to say hey. And, even after the show had finished, they took the time. They wanted to see me and meet me, which was ridiculous. So many people have been sweet and followed me on social media and things like that. It's been crazy. And the second night in particular, both nights where I completely stepped back after the show and just said, oh, my God, that just happened. What just happened kind of thing, pinching myself, But the second night, it was pouring rain, and I remember handing my guitar off to Hunter's tech. And they put it in the boat, the big guitar, huge guitar rack, so it wouldn't get wet. And I remember just walking off stage. I didn't even have a coat on. It was pouring rain. And just kind of, looking up like, I can't believe that just happened. Totally had a moment, and I think that was the coolest moment yet of my life for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I mean, the way you just that was like straight out of a movie right there.
It totally was. Yeah, I was like, is this happening? Someone slap me, please.
Right?
Wake me up. Actually, don't wake me up. I'm enjoying.
Yeah,
it.
right. Stay asleep as long as possible. Keep living the dream, man.
Yeah. It's thanks. It totally has been that, and I've been so blessed and so lucky to be able. I'm so thankful to everybody who's kind of made this a thing. Made it possible, because it's been one hell of a ride for sure. Yeah.
Right. So I just got one final question.
Yeah.
It's a little hard hitting. Are you ready for it? So, you're a 16-year-old young man.
Yeah.
Sure. You have kind of the high pitched voice. Are you at all nervous that as you grow up and you go through the normal life changes in becoming a young adult male, are you going to lose your voice and have to whisper sing like the Biebs?
Oh man, I hope not. I hope to God not. Actually, yeah. Sorry for my voice. Is actually a little kind of trash right now. I'm singing quite a bit earlier. Sent some demos.
I don't want. Hey,
Producer,
I don't want to take your
I've got
voice away from you right now. So if you got to cut out, man.
Allergies going on. But no, man. I hope not. My voice actually has significantly changed. It was much higher. I'm born with a very high voice. As a kid, it was like piercing. And no, it's changed quite a bit. So. I hope that's not the case. I should probably be careful in the things that I release, just in case I'm singing them at 40. Still, but no, I hope I'll be able to keep on top of it. I'm going to keep singing. Hopefully, I don't lose that high range. But yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully I don't.
I'm sure you'll be good. I mean, look at Hunter. Hunter Hayes still hits it. So it's funny that you're boys with him, because when I first heard you, I was like, this kid sounds just like Hunter Hayes. And
people say that. Yeah, thank you.
It's pretty wild that and obviously because you said he was one of your idols, but it's so wild how he actually it came full circle with him. So I mean, that's crazy.
It's so funny. He was saying actually. He was like, he made that comment that it was kind of full circle for him too. It was just kind of weird because, in so many respects too, because he pulled me up on stage 2 years ago, and I was just like this fan, and now I've kind of been working at it a lot more and kind of doing it a lot more than I was back then, which has been great. And the fact that Keith Urban did it for him, and Brad Paisley did it for him when
right.
He was younger, so he kind of made that comment too. It was pretty full circle with it. But no, I appreciate that. I'm honored to sound like him.
Yeah. Well, you do.
I kind of have to try to separate myself a little bit, though.
Yeah, you don't want to be like Hunter's like mini-me. You don't want to be his boy. So there's a thin line. Yeah. But I'm sure you'll be good.
Well, he's maturing a lot. I've actually had the chance to listen to a couple tunes off the brand new stuff. I will say is all I'm going to comment.
So much breaking news. I love it.
Yeah. He's been in the studio, and he'll tell you he's been in the studio. I'm struggling to not say things.
Yeah.
But he's
don't get in trouble. But if you want to spill, it's all right.
Yeah. No, he's been in the studio a ton, and they're cranking out some really good tunes, and some stuff that is a little new and a little different for him, and I think people are really going to like it. And he'll tell you he's stoked to be working on it. I think the label gave him a little bit of leeway and said, kind of just do what you want to do, man. And that's always the goal, to get to the third or fourth record or whatever it is, and have the label say, yeah, do what you want to do. So it's gonna be really cool to hear his new stuff. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. And man, yeah, I'm stoked. It's gonna be, the future is gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to see what it holds for country and for everybody. And I hope next year will be really fun. I think it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everything's pointing up for my boy Jimmy Connor. But
thanks, man.
But so where are you on everything? Where can everyone find you? I'm gonna let you go. I've been taking up too much of your time. You need to get back in the booth, keep dominating the world. But
thanks,
where can everyone find you? What's Instagram, Facebook? What do you got? Plug us, baby.
Yeah, my Facebook page is it's Jimmy Connor Music. My Instagram is @Jimmy_Connor. My Twitter is @IamJimmyConnor. What am I missing? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think that's pretty much
YouTube,
it.
just search
Yeah, just search Jimmy Connor.
Check out the video with Hunter Hayes. I watched it, like I said before. That's really cool stuff.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, that was a fun night for sure.
Cool stuff. But hey, like I said, I appreciate you giving me some time for this. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. You're awesome. You've been killing it, brother. All right.
Absolutely, no worries. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Any one last plug. Any concerts coming up around the area for anybody?
Oh yeah, man. We've got some cool stuff coming up this Sunday. I'm actually playing on Cape Cod Churro Agricultural Fair, which will be great. It's supposed to be a really nice weekend down there, so I'm stoked for that. Next week we're playing at Patrons in South Boston, and then we've got a bunch of dates coming up at Toby Keith's Bar and Grill in Foxborough, right next to Gillette.
Yeah.
And my website is just www.jimmyconnor.com. You can check stuff out there. We try and keep the shows as up to date as possible. And school's starting back up actually on Thursday, so I'm not looking forward to that.
I know, right?
We've been so busy coming up to it that we've got to keep looking, and there's always constantly stuff booking up last minute.
Keep the momentum going.
Still like crazy, yeah. So if you're looking to catch a show, keep checking, and stuff's gonna keep popping up. It's just that's how it happens. But yeah, thanks for having me again, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you taking the time to have me. And
hey, no, the pleasure is all mine. Like I said, I love to have you, brother. It was awesome. Keep killing it. Keep releasing great music. Do your thing.
Thanks,
and when you release that new song or album, whatever, the new song, like you were saying, let me know. I'll tweet it out. I'll tweet everything out, man.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, we'll have to catch up again sometime soon. And
yeah, right.
And, maybe in the new year, maybe around the time maybe the EP comes out, we can chat again and talk about what's going on and life and things.
Exactly.
And, stuff like that.
Anytime you want to come on, man, feel free.
Totally. Thank you, brother.
All right. Have a good one, Jimmy. We'll see you around. Thanks again.
You too. We'll hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely, brother. Later.
Later.
So that was Jimmy Connor, man. I mean, a little ball of energy. I loved it. I thought that was a great interview. Really interesting. I had a lot of questions about country music that he answered, especially with the songwriting process. I had no idea how that was going on. But that was cool. He, like I said, he seems like a good kid. So make sure to check out all his stuff on all his websites. Look him up on YouTube. I'm not lying. He's got a killer voice. Really, really like wholesome. I'm going to play his song Callin It at the end of this, the whole song, not just a little fade out like I usually do. I'm going to play the whole song. So make sure to stay tuned, listen to that. Any other news in the world? Oh, before I let you go, big trip coming up to Gainesville this weekend. Leaving Thursday, staying until Monday, big Labor Day weekend as college football kicks off. Finally, it's that time of the year. So me, Big Bro, a couple of the UMass kids are going down for UMass versus the Gators. Probably going to lose by 75, but I'm still in the upset train. So make sure you follow along on Snapchat because that's going to be a hell of a weekend. As well as we got our college correspondent, Shug. He's going to be piping up the Snapchat at UMass. For their first weekend back. So definitely check out the Keno Radio Snapchat this weekend. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. My goal down there is to meet Tim Tebow. First things first. As you know, Tim Tebow's the GOAT, in my opinion. And second thing, I'm looking to rush a frat. I'm looking to get down there. Hopefully it's rush week. I'm going to look into it a little more. Get down there and pretend to be a little freshman for the weekend and rush a frat. And hopefully I'll come out being AE Pi or Delta Delta Squanto or A6693, whatever the Greek alphabet is these days. So look for that. Look for that on Snapchat. We're going to bring the GoPro down. I don't know if we'll make a video or not. That's going to be a game time decision. But for sure, the Snap story is going to be piped up. So stay tuned to that. And like always, check us out on Twitter at Keno Radio, Instagram at Keno Radio. Hit us up on the blog. Make sure you're checking the blogs out. We got some stuff. I got a nice little back to school. It's that time of year blog coming out this week. So make sure you check that out. Some as a college grad reflecting on, it's kind of like our post-grad podcast we did in May. It's kind of just like if you're going back to school, remember these things. I mean, it's what I could have done differently. It's what I love to do. Just a little reflection piece that I'm going to probably get a little sentimental doing. But besides that, yeah, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the Gmail. If you're looking to blog, we're still looking for people to blog. And make sure you check out Jimmy Connor. I'm telling you, the kid's the real deal. As you just heard, he's got so much going for him right now. He's been with all these people, with Keith Urban and Hunter Hayes and this guy in Nashville. So I'm trying to keep him in my back pocket. Hopefully he remembers me back down the line when he's big and famous. But if not, hey, Jimmy, I appreciate it. Thanks again for everybody listening. Thanks again for Jimmy. And everyone have a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day weekend. I know summer's over. It's been a great summer. Summer at Keno Radio, but we're moving into the fall. We're going to get some more content going on. Probably more football stuff as the World Cup of Hockey comes along. NHL hockey starting up. So the content's going to be there. More podcasts, more blogs, more videos. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Stay tuned. Thanks again for listening. Everyone have a great, great, great Labor Day weekend.
Tell me you're the kind that's hard to read. Tell me you're so kind, but you're not the kind for me. Baby, I don't care, I'll give it all I got. 'Cause I don't know what other options I've got. So baby, I'm calling it, calling it. I'm gonna fall hard for you, just a little bit, little bit. For you the same might not be true, and I know you're good at playing games, but I just wanna know if you feel the same way I do, and how I should be calling it, calling it, and what we should be calling it, calling it. I guess a little mystery isn't so bad all the time. And when it comes to you and well, I wanna know what's up, what's good, what's not, so I can get on with my life. So baby, I'm calling it, calling it. I'm gonna fall hard for you, just a little bit, little bit. For you the same might not be true, and I know you're good at playing games, but I just wanna know if you feel the same way I do, and how I should be calling it, calling it, or if we should be calling it, calling it. Baby, I'm calling it, calling it. I'm gonna fall hard for you, just a little bit, little bit. Yeah, baby, I'm calling it, calling it. I'm gonna fall hard for you, just a little bit, little bit. For you the same might not be true, and I know you're good at playing games, but I just wanna know if you feel the same way I do, how I should be calling it, calling it, and what we should be calling it, calling it, or if we should be calling it, calling it, how I should be calling it, calling it, calling it, calling it.
Man, I love college. Do I really have to graduate, or can I just stay here for the rest of my life?
Keno Radio. Keno Radio.